We're live from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. My name's Shubhada Gupta. I'm the CEO of Pineapple Financial, NYSE, PAPL, and you're watching Taking Stock.
Counting you down to the close, everyone. It is Wednesday, November 19th. This is Taking Stock, and I'm Kristen Scholler, live down here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. A lot of news moving markets today. It has been busy down here indeed. Stocks, though, little change on the session after some chop as traders await those results from NVIDIA after the close. We did see investors buy the dip in NVIDIA shares today. That stock is set to close higher by almost 3%. But equities did lose steam during the session. The Bureau of Labor Statistics said it won't publish an October jobs report. Rather, it's going to incorporate those figures into November's release, which is scheduled to come out on December 16th. Now, in the wake of that, traders up the odds that the Federal Reserve will hold rates steady at its meeting in December. Only a third of the market now anticipates a rate cut next month. This afternoon, minutes from the Fed's October meeting also revealed that, quote, many, end quote, officials are leaning against trimming borrowing costs in December. Today on Taking Stock, we got an action-packed show. We're going to catch up with Citi's Drew Pettit and CEO Dennis Matthew of Optimum Communications. You'll see him up there on that bell podium in just a moment. Plus coverage from Cityscape Global and more from Money 2020. Let's take a look at the bell as Optimum Communications does the honors, celebrate the closing bell here at the New York Stock Exchange. Look at this crowd down here on the floor of the NYSE. Optimum Communications in the house. You see a packed crowd down here, of course, to celebrate its rebrand from Altice USA to Optimum. We got action-packed people down here. Oh, yeah. Ticker symbol OPTU. Always good to see a fun and festive closing bell like that down here on the NYSE. And let's run through the tape to see where we ended the session. The S&P 500 for one, ending higher by about 0.4%. It was choppy throughout the day, gained into the session. Dow Jones Industrial Average higher by 0.1%. Move between gain and losses for several points during today's session. The NYSE Composite just about flat, and the Russell 2000 flat on the session as well. To all of our viewers, thank you for watching Taking Stock. We're live down here on the floor of the NYSE, and I want to bring in our first guest, Drew Pettit, Director of U.S. Equity Strategy at Citi. Drew, welcome. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me, Kristen.
All right, let's talk about the action today because we did see some chop. What does this tell you about the overall direction?
Yeah, it's funny. It's not so much about the market direction, but what was actually leading today. So it was the quality companies. It was the companies that are actually beating and raising, companies that are improving quality. They heavily outperformed today in a choppy tape. So investors are looking for fundamental strength and good stories. That's what they're buying.
Okay, let's talk about artificial intelligence. NVIDIA, we know, is going to be in so close focus after the close because it's set to report earnings. The stock ending higher by almost 3%. But we've seen this AI trade underperform of late amid questions about whether or not it's in a bubble. What is your view?
So we would rather say boom rather than bubble. Look, fundamentals are there. It's a lot different than the tech bubble. It's a lot different than what we saw coming out of the pandemic. Now you have these companies driving earnings growth, higher earnings growth, accelerating sales. So honestly, we like boom, not bubble, but some profit taking. Honestly, that's healthy short term.
Okay, profit taking. We will be seeing how those results play out after the close. I want to talk about earnings season overall. NVIDIA kind of wraps things up, and we've been getting a lot of reports from retailers this week as well. Overall takeaways, including when it comes to productivity.
Yeah, look, good. The problem is we were priced for great, so that's why you get a little bit of the pullback. So when you need great, you need companies not just to beat expectations, but to raise next quarter's guidance, raise next year's guidance. So for a stock like NVIDIA today, again, expectations are high. You're going to need a beat and raise for this stock to continue to move higher.
Yeah. What are you seeing when it comes to cyclicals in the market, right? We've talked a lot about technology names, but cyclicals can perform more sort of in line with the overall fundamentals of the economy.
Yeah, it's funny. This has been the story that's been dead for about 3 years. So if you really look at cyclicals as a whole, earnings are down 25% from their peak about 3 years ago. The difference is next year, finally going to have some earnings growth. And what investors really want in fully valued markets, because honestly, nothing's cheap, they want earnings growth. You're finally going to get that in something other than the growth parts of the market.
Yeah, let's talk about good versus bad capital expenditures, where you're seeing that spending and how it might be paying off.
Yeah, it's funny. This is tricky right now because everyone wants to see AI play out. They want to see it now. The higher the valuations go, the more they want their earnings today. But it's stocks like NVIDIA that actually have some of the highest return on CapEx right now. You're seeing that in a couple select software names as well. Microsoft doing very well there, CrowdStrike on the cybersecurity side. But it's the areas where returns on CapEx are a little bit lower. That's where we're seeing the most weakness, especially in something like AI.
Okay, so AI firms, you mentioned a boom, but is there any risk associated with that trade now?
Yeah, it's that price to perfection kind of angle. Where the risk is, it's not necessarily just earnings kind of falling apart. I know people talk about cyclical or circular kind of earnings and spending. Not to confuse this, let's just talk about the earnings trajectory. It's the companies where people expect earnings to go higher, but they actually need to raise that bar because the valuation's higher. It's the companies that might not raise out year expectations. That's where the risk is. It's the companies with tighter margins, lower cash flows. The ones that do have cash flows do have wider margins, like you see in the semiconductors right now. Those are the ones that can work from here.
NVIDIA stock ending the day up 2.9%. What are you watching after hours for that play?
So some commentary around their OpenAI investment, some commentary around margins because they have some higher input costs. Those are really the two big stories to us. And then honestly, any takes on what the hyperscaler revenue trends might be. We think that's going to accelerate. We think that a lot of data center spending is on the come and actually higher than what most of the street has modeled in right now.
All right, Drew Pettit joining me down here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Action-packed day. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, Kristen.
All right, great to have you. Drew Pettit will join us another time, but let's take a walk right now. We want to take a look at some of the stocks that we're following in today's session. We're going to lead you down here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. We've been talking all about earnings. Yes, NVIDIA is in focus. Yes, technology names are always in focus, but retailers, in fact, coming out with reports this week as well, including NYSE-listed companies, TJX companies, you know it as the parent company of TJ Maxx and Marshalls. Wealthier shoppers trading down, shopping at TJ's. And we'll show you that stock price action in just a moment. And then, of course, for Lowe's, that company, a DIY home improvement retailer. So let's take a look now at, we've got Optimum here. We'll be talking to Optimum soon. Here's TJX. That stock ending the day fractionally higher. At one point was up as much as 3.7%. Little changed as the market was quite choppy, but again, the discount retailer behind TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods too, exceeded Wall Street expectations, even better upped its guidance, and that of course was at play for TJX. I mentioned as those wealthier shoppers trade down. The CEO said the holiday shopping season is off to a strong start and its sales rose 7% during the quarter. Lowe's also in focus. Todd, our cameraman extraordinaire, is going to get that beauty shot. Take a look. A beauty shot, it's up 4%, rose as much as 6.1%. The home improvement retailer saw sales grow from a year ago, did lower its full year profit outlook, though, citing economic uncertainty. And its peer Home Depot also cut its forecast, citing uncertainty earlier this week. We've got a lot to get to throughout today's show, but we do want to talk some fintech TV's Vince Molinari sat down with Manish Chopra of Gulf Business at the Cityscape Global Conference in Riyadh, and let's take a look.
Great to be back on. I am delighted as I sit here with our next guest, Manish Chopra, who is the publishing director of Gulf Business, some of our new dear friends. Manish, great to have you with us today.
Likewise, thank you for having me.
Well, first off, for our audience, particularly stateside, who hasn't heard of all the great things happening with Gulf Business, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you guys have been doing and a little bit of the mission.
Sure. Vince, Gulf Business is the oldest English business monthly title in the region. We are part of Motivate Media Group, which itself is one of the largest media conglomerate in the region. We started 45 years ago,
Wow.
and even now we have been going very successful. And Gulf Business is about to complete 30 years in the region.
That's incredible. I didn't realize. So you were really early days going back.
Exactly. We were here when nobody was here.
Well, and I can't imagine just the growth that you've seen. It seems like every year there's 5 or 10 years worth of growth.
Absolutely. And it is hard to believe that this region still has a lot of faith instilled in print. People love to see themselves, read about themselves in the print magazines. And that's how our circulation is only growing year on year.
That's incredible because I do miss print and really high quality print. And what you all put out is just a magnificent product. It's just, it's beautiful to look at. And then when you get to the content, absolutely amazing. You know, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Gulf Business Awards. You really pioneered that, and it's really become one of the highest accolades that you could achieve by getting one of those awards. So maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Well, thanks to the vision of our management and our founders. Very early on, they realized that this region is only going to evolve in a more prospective way. And the business leaders out over here need to be outshining. So they introduced the Gulf Business Awards. We just recently completed the 14th edition of it. It's a gathering of 500 top-notch business leaders from across the region, from various industries, different categories, both leadership and company levels. And the Gulf business team awards them, and there is a third-party jury which evaluates. So it's a very credible forum to be awarded on.
Well, I think that goes back to so much of the success of Gulf business that I've seen from a bit of the outside is the authenticity and the credibility that it really means something to be associated
True.
there.
Very true, very true.
I want to talk a little bit about the Gulf Business Saudi Summit, which is another one of the high-profile summits that you conduct. Could you talk to us a bit about that?
We are actually pioneers of something like this that's happening in the region. Motivate has been one of the first media houses to go on ground and create that on-ground engagement with the readers through our panel discussions and conferences and summits. Gulf Business was not far behind. We started our panel and summits journey from Dubai. And very successfully, we have been doing that for a couple of years now. And then, of course, you know, as Saudi is evolving, it was important to have that engagement done here as well. Based on that, in September 2025, we launched our first Gulf Business Saudi Summit. This was basically understanding the Saudi Vision 2030, the top key players that are reshaping the future of Saudi and its businesses, and having a very engaged dialogue with the top-notch experts, so that right from the on-ground level to the top-tier level, where is this country heading and how we can be part of the evolution and success.
Well, clearly part of the fabric, and I'm getting the signal that we have to wrap up, Manish, but before we go, I've got to give a little shout out here. Tell us what you're doing here at Cityscape Global 2025 before we have to leave.
We are a strategic partner with Tahalluf, the organizers of Cityscape, and as part of the strategic relationship, we are also the exclusive publishers of the official Cityscape magazine that is being distributed here and across the region. Please get your copies now.
Great.
Welcome back to Taking Stock, live down here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, everyone. We are at the FinTech studio, so we got to talk some FinTech, crypto, and AI headlines. After a brief rally yesterday, the crypto majors of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana all slid a few percentage points, with Bitcoin back below $90,000 a token. Next, though, the U.S. government backing a $1 billion loan to revive 3 Mile Island. That's a move driven by Microsoft's surging energy needs as AI data centers devour more power than ever. And finally, the U.S. poised to greenlight tens of thousands of advanced AI chips for a Saudi AI firm, Humane. A major win for NVIDIA, AMD, and a growing U.S.-Saudi AI partnership built around that massive compute demand. All right, well, we had an amazing moment earlier this hour at the closing bell. You saw all sorts of people cheering down there on the podium, and my next guest up there on the closing bell podium. Joining me now is Dennis Matthews, CEO of Optimum Communications. Dennis, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you so much. So excited to be here with you.
Yeah, great to have you as well. And what did it feel like being up there ringing that closing bell amid news for your company?
I mean, the energy, the excitement, we're on a journey of transformation. It's been a long journey, but one where we are seeing the results as we transform the culture, transform the way we operate and go to market. And it's just exciting to be here, and the energy is infectious.
Yeah, so let's talk about your company's evolution. Of course, Optimum recently changing its name from Altice USA, and effective today, its ticker symbol to OPTU.
Yes.
How should investors interpret that?
Well, it's been a journey that we've been on that we're super excited about, because we started with the culture, we started with putting the customer at the center, and we're operating with more discipline than ever. Financial discipline, operational discipline. We're on track to achieve a significant financial milestone this year, and our goal is to get back to growth. And so this is an opportunity to pivot from being reactive to now proactive and going on the offensive as we transform the company.
Yeah, so let's talk about those top proactive priorities now that investors should know about for Optimum.
Well, we're leveraging digital, automation, and AI. You know, we have an opportunity to provide our teammates with the best tools to become a digital-first company so that we're simple and easy to work with. And we're also leaning into being hyper-local so that we can compete more effectively. There's lots of competition, but we know that we have the right products, the right tools, the right offers, and the right go-to-market strategies. And as we move forward, we're going to be leaning into those to compete even more effectively.
I want to hone in on that competition aspect. You've got the strategy. How are you going to win space?
You know, we are leveraging data like never before so that we can ensure that we are competing at a hyper-local level with great offers, things like 5-year price lock, leveraging mobile, making it easy to buy multiple lines from us. We have great new products like whole home Wi-Fi and Total Care, new video tiers, and so people want quality and people want value. And we are leaning into both, and we're now winning awards for the quality of the network and customer experience, and we're going to make sure we bring the best value as well.
What do your customers expect in this environment that you are focused on delivering for them?
Well, that's exactly, they deserve the best products, the best network, the best service, and we are going to be doing that day in and day out relentlessly. We've built a culture where people have accountability and are laser focused on making sure we deliver on the customer, and we're going to be able to test and trial quickly to make sure we're getting customers the right value proposition as well.
So let's talk about innovation. You obviously mentioned technology, digital, AI. How is Optimum leaning into innovation?
Well, it's super exciting because we can leverage AI to make it easier for our teammates to serve our customers, provide great service, and so whether it's customer care or sales or our field teams, we're leveraging these solutions, we're launching them every day. We have new findings, new learnings on how we can do a better job, how we can serve our customers more effectively, and also be much more proactive as we monitor the network. We don't need to wait for customers to call us. We can go out and solve problems even before they call, and also make sure we have a personalized offer for each person.
What is next for Optimum as you look ahead?
Yeah, as we look ahead, we want to continue to lean into fiber. We have over 700,000 customers. We're going to continue to grow that. We have over 500,000 mobile lines. And so we have an opportunity to continue to grow penetration of these great products, continue to drive adoption, but then also just continue to be easier to do business with, whether it's sales, whether it's billing, provide more transparency so that ultimately we can be the connectivity provider of choice.
All right, a lot of people excited about this evolution down here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange today. Dennis Matthews, CEO of Optimum Communications. Dennis, thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Of course. All right, everyone, well, stay with us because on the other side, we'll have the latest on startups, raises, and rounds, plus more from City State Global in Riyadh. Welcome back to Taking Stock, everyone. I'm Kristen Schiller down here on the floor of the stock exchange, and we want to get more now from Cityscape Global in Riyadh. As FinTech TV's Vince Molinari sat down with Yazid Al-Ghamdi of Roshan Group.
It's great to be back, and I'll tell you, the energy at Cityscape Global 25 just keeps going and going. I can't describe the amount of activity here, and I am absolutely delighted for our next guest, Yazid Al-Ghamdi, who is the Director of Emerging Technologies at Roshan. Yazid, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Vince. Appreciate it.
Well, absolutely delighted, and maybe you could kick us off for our viewers, perhaps in the States, who's not familiar with Roshan. Maybe give us a little background.
Absolutely. Roshan Group is one of the giga projects powered by the Public Investment Fund. We focus on many elements of the Vision 2030, housing program, quality of life. We're building over 400,000 units in the next few years, and we're excited to be here today.
400,000 units. It's just mind-boggling to me when I hear those numbers.
Absolutely.
Well, I wanted to kick it. You just got done running the largest hackathon going on here at Cityscape Global. Tell me a little bit about it, and we hear so much about prop tech, how that's affecting real estate. What did you see firsthand?
Absolutely. So we're here for the third version this year. So we are the one who founded the prop tech hackathon within Cityscape Global. Roshan Hackathon actually focused to bring innovators, professionals, entrepreneurs, and students to participate in one place under one umbrella, powered by local and global partners like Microsoft, Google, and local entities to support and bring in new ideas to the real estate and prop tech field. And today we've seen great ideas, over 2,800 ideas in the past 3 years. And today we have, again, over 150 people participating, competing to win 1.3 million Saudi Riyal.
Well, what a great way to fund a business, coming out as a winner on that. So what a great service you're doing to everybody in the ecosystem. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the changes that have been occurring. We talk about Vision 2030, all of the quality of life movement, the amount of home real estate ownership by people in Saudi. You guys started your digital sales journey not too long ago. Talk to me about that experience, and how's that uptake been by purchasers?
Absolutely. This is one of the great ideas that we're working on in Roshan Group, and we have a great tech team. So what we've done, we translated the sales journey that we see today happening on ground through Sales Center into a hybrid and digital journey. Today we have this launched since the end of 2023. We've sold over 7 billion SAR through the platform. We've sold over 3,400 units. So we've seen this today. The market of digital and real estate is actually combined together and emerged into a new experience. And the platform has grown today into the community as well. You buy your unit online and you move into the community, it's all digital.
Wow, what a great outcome that is, and I'm sure many more to come. Yazid, what a pleasure to get to chat with you today and share everything that's happening with Roshan with our audience.
Likewise,
I appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. This is Scarlett Sieber from Money 2020, and on this week's edition of Jargon Translator, we're going to be decoding a term that started as a typo and turned into a whole lifestyle. Anyone know what we got here? Anyone? It's the hodl, the bottle hodl. Yes, H-O-D-L. Not a dating app, not a Gen Z slang for hunging. It is actually crypto speak for hold on for dear life. Let's rewind the clock. It all started in 2013 when a slightly tipsy Bitcoin investor posted in a forum. We've all been there, no judgment. He said, I'm holding. He meant to say, well, he said hodling to be clear. He meant to say holding, as in not selling his Bitcoin, but the typo stuck. And just like that, a meme was born. Because in crypto, if it's not a little chaotic, is it even real? So what does hodl actually mean? It's the rallying cry of crypto believers who say, markets crash, prices dip, doesn't matter, I'm not selling. It's not just a strategy, it's a whole vibe. It's diamond hands. It's I bought Bitcoin at 60K and I'm still here. It's I believe in the tech, not just the price. It's basically the crypto version of I'm in my long-term relationship era. Here's the nuance. Hodling isn't just about stubbornness. It is about conviction. Crypto markets are volatile, like roller coaster on Red Bull volatile. So hodlers are the ones who zoom out. They're not day trading, they're not panic selling, they're playing the long game, betting that Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever coin they love will moon eventually. Now let's be real, hodling is not for the faint of heart. It's not financial advice, it's not a guaranteed win, it's a mindset, and sometimes a coping mechanism. Because when your portfolio is down 70% and you're still tweeting hodl, you're either a visionary or in denial, or maybe somewhere in between, a little bit of both. Next time someone says, I'm hodling, just know they're not frozen, they're not confused, they're just trying to be riding that crypto wave, baby. Even on the horizons, hands off the sell button. Let's go from there. That's your jargon translated. Back over to you.
All right, everyone. Tomorrow on Wall Street, we're going to be talking all things NVIDIA. That stock rising in the after hours after better than expected revenue and outlook. Plus, catch NYSE Live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll count you down to the open. That's going to do it for today's show. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Taking Stock. Woo.